everybody, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, the first thing I want to say is this is not a clickbait title, video, thumbnail. This is a story about how myself and my family found a human arm in a lake. So I just want to say that from the beginning because I know that like a lot of stuff like this is clickbait, but this is literally not. And I don't know why I haven't filmed this for YouTube before because it's such a good story. But yeah, let's just hop right into it. So my dad used to own his own boat company, and basically what he would do is kind of purchase old boats, and sometimes he would flip them. Sometimes he would get boats from like insurance companies, things that had been in accidents. Now on this specific occasion, he purchased a boat from the Sea Cadets. Now I'm not going to give specific names and things like that just to kind of keep it hush hush. So he purchased this boat and he could do one of two things. He could go and drive and pick this boat up, or he could sail it home. Now I basically live in Toronto, Canada, so you can sail that just through the lakes and we can get it home. So the plan was my grandmother was going to drive all of us. Now the people that were with us were my dad, my sister, myself, my dad's girlfriend, and then her son and her daughter. So there were 6 of us in total, but also including my grandmother, 7. So she drove us down in her minivan, and so as soon as we got there we realized that the boat was like needing a cleaning. Like especially before we were gonna live on it for a couple days and sail it home, it needed a cleaning. So that night we just stayed in a hotel. First thing the next morning, we all got up and we just cleaned the boat and got it all ready. We were just having breakfast on the boat, kind of getting ready to leave and start sailing home. But my sister, now at this age, I believe I was like 12, 13 maybe, and my sister was 2 years older than me, so she was still pretty young. My sister like loved nature and she loved going and catching frogs and doing stuff like that. So Brittany, being Brittany, she was out kind of like playing with the geese. Now Brittany, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Someone had told her to not open the gate. They didn't want the geese to get out to the road. Anyways, the geese got out to the road, so she ended up chasing them back in. Now to explain it to you, there's like a hill that kind of goes down into the water. This is Lake Michigan. We were at just like a little harbor, so she was chasing them all back down into the water, and all I heard her do was scream. I heard her say something about an arm in the water. First idea in my head is it's something that looks like an arm. It's like a log. So I went over there. She's like, look at that, look at that. And I'm like, no. I'm like, that looks like a log. And she's like, no, like look at this. So I got closer, and sure enough, it was what I thought, what looked like. I mean, honestly, like if you see a human arm in the water, it's gonna look like a human arm, you know? You're gonna be able to tell the difference between a log and a human body part. I start screaming, she starts screaming, my dad's girlfriend hears us. So Linda comes over, we show Linda. She starts screaming, yelling for my dad. So finally, the 3 of us are just freaking out. My dad comes over and he goes, oh, whatever, like that's not an arm. So he grabs the broom and he pulls it up out of the water onto shore. Yeah! It was a friggin' arm. And at this point, I'm standing at the top of the hill because I'm friggin' terrified because I know that that's a human arm. He's right in front of it. And you know what? The funny thing was, the night before, they had taken the little dinghy, which is just like a small little motorboat that is attached to our boat, and they had gone to the store that was attached to the marina, and they had made a joke about seeing an arm in the water. How funny is that? So the arm, to explain it to you, it was severed here. So it was basically just your forearm, but the fingers, it's a little gory. I don't know if they were cut off. I don't know if they were like eroded. Oh my god, what a terrible word. Basically my dad, this is at a point where like we have cell phone service, but very minimal because cell phones weren't this big craze when I was 12. So my dad goes over to the marina across the street and says like, you know, can I use one of your phones? They called the police department and we're waiting there and waiting there. And then all of a sudden all of these vans show up. People in like white suits with like big gloves on. So then all these people came over and they just started questioning my sister, questioning us, asking us what we were doing here, taking the arm out of the water, putting it in an evidence bag. Like this sounds like an episode of Criminal Minds. Like, doesn't it? Like, I don't know. I don't expect this stuff to happen. Like, even when I tell you guys the story back, I'm like, oh my god, this completely sounds like an episode of Criminal Minds. Now, I'm going to insert pictures here. So if you are squeamish and don't want to see this, don't look. I don't think it's very gory. Like, I think that you can handle it if you don't like that stuff. But I'm just putting this in here. If you don't want to see it, skip ahead like 10 seconds. Also, keep in mind that, like, I was 12. We didn't have these amazing point and shoot digital cameras. So here it is. As you can see in the photo, it is as I described it. The fingers are like eroded. You can see, it's so gross. I'm so sorry for showing you this. But yeah, that's the arm. To kind of sum up the story, yeah, we sailed the boat home, everything was good. Can you imagine my mom getting a phone call and, Mom, guess what? We found a human arm in like Michigan. And she's like, put your father on the phone. I don't even know how she dealt with that. My dad's girlfriend had looked into it and was actually caught. And the way that he was caught was actually kind of freaky. He was pulled over for some sort of traffic violation. And when they pulled him over, they smelled something. And I guess if you're a police officer, you kind of know what the smell of rotting flesh would smell like. So when they did pull him over and they smelled that, they searched his car, and I guess he still had some of the pieces in his car, and that's basically how he was caught. Like, how freaking weird is this story? I know my dad and my sister are probably gonna comment below, and I'm sure they have stuff to add. I probably forgot a little bit of details and things like that. It's just a story that I never thought would happen to myself, and even when I tell people now, I'm like, doesn't that sound insane? But yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'll try to answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this storytime video. If you do like storytime videos like this, I'm sure I could dig up a couple. So let me know, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll know to kind of do more of these. I also just wanted to let you guys know that I started a vlog channel. So I've just been vlogging random days in my life. I will put the links to my vlog channel down below. I would love it if you guys subscribed and followed me on there. If you guys want a little bit more in-depth info about my life and you want to follow me around, that's the perfect place to do so. But I mean, other than that, I guess, yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. So we were gonna go car shopping, but it's currently looking kind of mucky outside. Brandon is trying to